Ouch. India is at the best place. That's actually the fact, because the way you live and the ecosystem you're into shapes your beliefs, your thoughts about yourself, not just the perspective about how you look at home, but how you look at yourself when you look in the mirror. Because that's very true. Your ecosystem shapes your beliefs, your thoughts. It's an interaction that you have with your home. So if your home is a happy home, you're a happy person. If you're a sad person, your home will be sad, however happy we make it. You can sense that vibe when you enter into a home. So actually, your beliefs and your thoughts shape the physical you. And your beliefs and thoughts are shaped by your ecosystem, your morals, your genes, your society you live in, and predominantly the home you live in. That's very rightly said. Because I could not become a doctor, I became an architect because my father is from medical business and he always had a dream of making one of his children doctor. And we both took medical, we both excelled in it, but none of us wanted to become a doctor. And interior designing or architecture was, we both are interior designers, not architects, to be very clear on that. So interior designing to me was something that I loved. I am from BSc Home Science Honors. I did that because we were, at my age, I was not very career oriented. After the graduation, I took up interior designing just because I wanted 2 more years to study and not get married. That's the fact. And I've always been an exceptionally brilliant child. So even in school, even in college, I was second in Asia when I passed my BSc Home Science Honors. And then my teacher told me that you can do post-graduation. I didn't want to do it. I had more bent towards interior designing. But there was a simple trait that I always had from a childhood. I would take up any subject, excel in it, and then just leave it. So this happened with swimming, this happened with Kathak, this happened with stitching, this happened with singing, this happened with everything that I can remember of. After doing interior designing, I started interior designing just because I loved it. And this was something that I did not get bored of. It was more like love to me. So that passion, I think, continued, and that's why we are where we are. Because to us, this is not business, it's pure love. I think flexibility. It's not about what I want, what I love, how I want the design to look like. It's what about the client's desires and how to interpret that desires into the actual homes and to read in between the lines, because not everything is said. There is a lot of unsaid that has to be actually understood and then transformed into the design language. So I think that flexibility of understanding the client, making the home that the client wants, not what I want. I may desire a home which is very simple, because to me, I see design every day. I would like plain white walls, but to a client, it's a hospital. So something that the client desires is something that I think is my design language, my interpretation to design. If I can get him happy or her happy, if he or she can feel that it's their home, I've done my due diligence. Yes, 2,789.
Okay.
I'm a number person. You can ask me any number. Me and Ankush have been married for 24 years. This business is 23 years old. So the journey started together. So there's completely something called a buyer's journey that we follow. So it starts from the point the client actually touches us, from the point he's an inquiry to the point he converts into a client, and then from a client he converts into a fan. There's a complete journey that we have, and everything about it is documented and all steps are followed. So from an inquiry, if he's coming through us through Insta or through reference, there is a different buyer journey. That means if he's touching us through Insta and we are giving him a call, the call is kind of recorded, it's kind of worded correctly, our office, how he'll be greeted, where will he sit, which book will he read, everything is decided. And when he becomes a client, after all that journey is, kind of stretched upon, from that point, there is again segmented. So first is requirement set. So when the client meets us, there is something called knowing the site, knowing the requirements, knowing the budget. These are the three aspects that we need to know about any client. इसको लिए हमें तीन ही चीज़ें चाहिए होती हैं, but that has to be most detailed. So first is knowing the site, not just from outside but from inside, what it feels like, what is the vibration of the site, how much sunlight do we get, not just because the sun is moving in this direction, but actually site buildings की shadows कितनी हैं, is there any मंदिर or गुरुद्वारा nearby, are there dogs on the street. Everything about the site is detailed, noted. That's our site requirement set. Then comes the budget. We have a designated booklet to budget, which everything is kind of written down, and we kind of ask the client to fill it up what they think about it. So we know the site like we know our home. That's where it starts. And then knowing the requirement set. That means knowing what the client actually wants. When you ask the client that what is it that you want, there are some set things he'll talk about. There are a lot of things he or she will not talk about. Probably they don't even know and realize that the questions there will also shape the home today. Like a very simple question that if you have a boy, is he into gaming? Does he have a PS4 at home? What kind of gaming he is into? That question itself will tell me that what is the kind of a room he wants. Or maybe they use a laptop or a CPU will change my electricals. Small things, but they make a huge impact. So every small requirement detail is taken upfront, and that is really detailed. That's one thing where I sit down with the client. It usually takes me about 2.5 to 3 hours for just one site to do that, because that's one interaction I want to keep very personal. And then comes the budget. Budget upfront, we can't tell the client we are into design consultancy, but we give them a brief hint of what all aspects will change the budget, so that he knows that there are 220 aspects to look at before deciding the budget. He just can't say इतना लगेगा और पत्थर कितने का आएगा, बस वो stone की कहानी रुक जाती है. And I don't know why. Why do people think that stone is the most expensive buy? No, it's not. It's just merely maybe 5-7% of the purchase in the whole home. So once that is done, then we sit down and make the layouts. After the layouts are finalized, there is mood board, then there is 3Ds, then there are GFCs. Site engineer who will visit, there are site visits, there are designer visits, there is also shopping assistance, and then there is something called interior styling, where last may I go and do it. The interior styling, how do you put a through? You've made a very beautiful home, but it has to smell good. So there has to be aroma candles or aroma oils. It has to feel good. That vibration in the home has to change. How to do that? So that is something where I go and meet the client and tell them that this is what you have to do to make the whole house vibrate positively. So it's a whole lot of a journey. It's not just defined in 1 or 2 steps. That whole journey is, I think, we have about 897 steps. So that's how the journey is. Something which is not evaluated is never managed. So there is an escalation matrix, clear cut. Every person is evaluated by somebody. So if the site engineer is working, there is an evaluation charter which he has to be evaluated by the team leader. The team leader is evaluated by the senior designer. Senior designers report to us directly. So there is an escalation matrix. One thing goes wrong, there is something called that red flag. We would immediately know. And in all cases, if we are doing n number of sites, the client has only one home, one hotel, one resort, one office that he's making. If there is something goes wrong, we have already told our clients that you flag it to us directly. So that is where we both get involved, directly to the client, directly to the problem solving. But otherwise, in general, there is an escalation matrix, and normally problems like those don't creep up to that level. If there is something we are available, maybe yes.
In what ways?
Maybe yes, because being in Delhi has its own privilege. We are more open to what is available in the market. We are more exposed to it. Whatever comes to India comes to Delhi first and to Mumbai. So these two cities are definitely at a privilege. We have access to all the vendors, we have access to all the catalogs, and it's literally a call away. Literally, it's stone's throw away. Where our office is situated, it's kind of 2 minutes to Marble Market, 3 minutes to Tile Market, 1 minute to the Park Market, and about 6 minutes to Furniture Market. So we're just centrally located. I think what helps us the best is the exposure of material that we have. Being in Delhi, we have already seen a lot of houses here. There's a lot of money inflow in Delhi. You know what best can you get here. That, I think, exposure has helped us to groom ourselves. But now, having said that, we have already worked in so many cities. Like Srinagar is another home to me today, because in Srinagar we are doing many projects. We're doing 50 plus projects in Srinagar. It's like second home to us. Now if you tell us what Srinagar feels like, I think I'm more like a Nagrik, and I can tell you वहाँ के दस्तार खान पे खाना खाओ तो ये अच्छा है. So I know everything about that city also. But that's where you start. You always start from your hometown and then you expand and then you learn. When you enter into any city, you learn about the culture, about the people, about the religion, about the habits, about the know-hows, and that's how you grow. You're not born to know everything. You just tread and learn and experience and then grow. India is at the best place. In totality, I think the real estate market in India is growing at a very rapid pace, because that can be very evident from the price escalation in the property also right now. But today, say after 2 decades of working, when I started working, interior design was new in market. There were very few people who were aware about the interior designing. It was more like a luxury. Today it's a need. Even a 2 BHK, a person who's bought a 2 BHK would like to get an interior designer to design it. Look at Mumbai. The apartments are small, but the price points are very high. Everybody there hires an interior designer. Even I have done a couple of projects there, but everybody wants an interior designer, because a 2 BHK may be a couple of crores. Why not just hire an interior designer in a couple of lakhs and make it look the best? So today it's a requirement, and from luxury to requirement is a journey of any trade. Like stainless steel tanks were once, very exclusive. Now they've become the whole market. That's how the market grows. And when the market grows, there are more interior designers who come up. There are more materials which come up. There are new type of vendors who come up, new type of contractors who come up, new skill set comes up. Skill set of India is also developing a lot of, skill-based knowledges. Everything grows in together. So when everything grows, the whole business grows. LUK has been in market for a while now, and they have done a lot of our projects, and I think the service is great, the product is great, but they need to develop a little more sections specifically when it comes to sliding. And what needs to improve is their after sales service. Everything else about them is great. I think it's important for them to kind of have a say when the facade of the building has been designed. Because when the interaction is between the architect and the client is giving his dream. The architect is making it into, reality, into paper, just showing that this is what the vision into paper, that this is what is the possibility. Paper would mean maybe a 3D visual. Till that time, the company like LUK or any window fenestration company does not need to get involved. I think it's very important right now, because it's the need of the hour. Look at the global warming, look at the temperature outside. It's just symbols after symbols that the earth is showing us that there is a disaster which is about to happen. Why not stop right now and actually start looking at something that we can do for the nature, not what we can extract from the nature. I think our whole vision about it has to change. It's actually right now the most important thing for not just for architects and interior designer, but also as for human beings. I mean, it's not just the duty of one person, one profession, it's the duty of humanity to do it. To put it correctly, not everybody is educated in all the fields. I may know, say, a little about interior designing even after 2 decades. I may not just know anything about nuclear bombs, how to make it. You need to educate the client. There are things clients would know, maybe I don't know. It's always a learning process. It's always a give and take. The interaction is never one-sided. So when I sit down with a client, I learn, the client learns from me. So what's more important is that we educate the client. Why is it important? What impact will they have? What is the price point of the change in the decision? And then make a informed decision. Not just, impose my decisions on the client, but it has to come from their heart also. It's their home. It's their mother earth also. It's not just mine. So the decision is like of collaborative. It's never one-sided. A lot of things. My son is also a teenager. He's also into a design college. I keep telling him it's easy to pin interest, but it's very difficult to create your own. So if you have to, there is something called the masses and there is something called the class. So in the masses, most of the designers, the budding designers, they like the quick answer because they're so used to 1 minute reel, 1 minute answer, everything on the gadget, AI. The creativity flows only when you create something which is uniquely you. So if you want to be amongst those masses, Pinterest, change it in AI, create a design, give it to the client, make it on the BOQs can be done on AI, everything can be done on AI. But then you are an AI guy. You are not in that class. That class is something when you create something which is just uniquely you. It's about your passion, it shows your love to design, it's your interpretation to how you see things. That is something comes in patience, something when you sketch something when you spend time with yourself. So I always not really advise, but I would say that that's the way to go ahead. There's 1 lakh people doing this. Why do you want to do that?